It's such a delightful little jingle. I'll eventually change that once I sit around and make a new one. Hello everybody. Thank you for stopping in. Welcome to the Silver Lining, the weekly geekly chat show featuring myself, Uncle Silver, aka Uncle Greg, aka Silver Greg 78 on Twitter, aka just Greg, and featuring also you guys, the chat and the and Twitter for anybody who wants to ask questions on Twitter. We also have our Discord up, so if you guys have the Discord here, feel free to jump on in. Part 8. Oh. Yo, future me, what's up? All right. So again, thank you guys for stopping in. It has been kind of a week. It's been a little bit of a rough week for old Uncle Silver, but let's see, I don't like talking myself in the first person that way. It's been a rough week, but it's all right. You know, we made it through the end, and no matter how when your week is bad, you try and get here to the silver lining, to the good part, which is sort of what the name is supposed to imply. And hello everybody in chat. We have who we got? Spider, Lady Fox, Elements, Flipnote. Ryan is here somewhere. I believe Splat Cat and say a CT Scan. So hello everybody. Old Uncle Silver makes you sound like Santa. Well, I got there's the white coming in on the beard, which I don't know if you can see. I mean, I know everybody can see that. Oh, excuse me. But all right, before we get to the topic, I wanted to do I try and do this. I try and have this sort of, if it's there. I don't try and force this part, but I do have some pickups from this week, so I wanted to share them with you guys. Merry Fishmas. So I wanted to share them with you guys. First off, I picked up Sonic Chronicles, The Dark Brotherhood. So I don't know how it's a Sonic game, so I'm sure everybody has strong feelings one way or the other about that. And these were each $3. Oh no. See? Oh god, you didn't. Oh no. Yeah, hey, you know what? It's here. Why not? I'll give it a try, and if it sucks, which statistically speaking it's probably going to, it's $3. You know what I mean? No big deal. I also picked up, I have Dino Crisis for the PlayStation 1 with the Resident Evil disc in it, but I had this, but the case was all busted, so I bought a random, like a junk CD. It was all scratched. What was it? It was the soundtrack to the movie Boys on the Side, but it was scratched to hell. It wasn't going to work, but for some reason it was in a 2 CD case, so I bought it for the case and literally got home and threw the CD out. Rally ho! Hey, Ace Trainer. Okay, so this next stack, I bought this stack today. This next stack is either going to be really awesome or it's going to drive everybody crazy. I bought a stack of PS3 games. So let's see here. We got best way to do it. We got Diablo 3, which unfortunately it's just the regular Diablo 3, which I have played on PC. I did beat this game on PC. So I don't have the Reaper of Souls game, which I think is a couple of bucks anyway. So I'll play through this again. And then if I want the Reaper of Souls, I'll go and get that. This was an awesome game, by the way. And I don't play Diablo games. I've never played a Diablo game. The reason I played Diablo 3 was when Mist of Pandaria for World of Warcraft came out. You had the option to pay for a year of Warcraft of World of Warcraft. If you chose to do that, you had to pay it all up front. If you chose to do that, they gave you Diablo 3 for free. And this was like day one. I had Diablo 3 when everybody else had it. I was never a fan of the other Diablo games. I didn't like them, but this game, something about it just drew me in, and I figured it's free because I was gonna play Warcraft for the next year anyway with the new expansion coming out. And it was amazing. Like, I thought Diablo was unbelievable. I still have no interest in going back and playing the other ones because I didn't like the other ones because of the graphic style and everything, and that stuff is still a problem. But this game it's a couple of bucks. If you get a chance, play this game. It's really good. I also picked up Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It was there. I to be completely honest, I put it in the stack and kind of forgot that it was in the stack. But I hear this is just as good as Skyrim, almost, sort of. But I know visually everything I've seen about it looks better than Skyrim. Skyrim is just so dark and it's snowy all the time. And let's face it, after this winter, a lot of us have had enough snow. It's fun if you like co-op RPG. CT, I didn't play Diablo with anybody else. I played it solo and I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I played Diablo 1 and followed by Hellfire, plus the command text file, and now I'm playing Diablo 2. Yeah, Ryan, I did co-op a couple of times with someone, and that was okay because I knew them, but I absolutely prefer playing on my own, and it was great. I had a blast doing it. Yeah, but you need friends. Lady Foxheart, that sounds like a challenge. Okay, so I think I have the order of these next three right. Dragon Age Origins. By the way, these games are all in perfect shape. Like the discs and everything everything is in there. Everything is perfect. There's no scratches or anything. Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age Inquisition. I challenge you to play multiplayer games. But I absolutely hate friends. So Dragon Age Inquisition, and then Dragon Age 2, which I don't know. I'm assuming it's Origins Inquisition 2, but I have no idea. I didn't know this was a Lewis stream. It's just, there's a lot of pointless filler. Okay. So you got, yeah, essentially, Ryan, essentially that's what I got. But I got everybody's two favorite games next. So I figured you guys would be happy that I have these now. Because I got Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2. Yay! It's the cool one with the book. You know, that's good, right? Right? That's good. That's good. Sonic Chronicles again. Hey, Mendez. Ooh, my God, somebody actually like 13 too. Or Elements, are you just teasing me? Look, yuck. I hear it's mildly better. That's like Elements, that's like if you've got a painful rash, but then it gets better, so you've only got a bad rash. I also got, I talked about this, I think, during the week. So if you guys catch the streams during the week, this won't be too much of a surprise. I picked up a camera, a Canon 60D. I still need to test it. The only problem is it doesn't have a battery in it, so I haven't been able to test it out. I have lenses. I use Canon, so I have Canon lenses. So I just need a battery for it, which I'm going to be able to test on. Oh, hey, Real Chris. And Ace Trainer, if I didn't say hello. I'll be able to test it on Sunday, and if it works, I'm gonna pick up the remember the camera stream. I'm gonna pick up the Cam Link, which is from Elgato. It's an HDMI port on one end and a 3.0 USB port on the other end, and what it allows you to do is use your cameras like this to stream. But these cameras are much higher quality because they get everything in perfect HD. So we'll see what happens. Assuming it works well, I'll be able to run a 2-camera setup. Again, assuming my laptop doesn't explode, which it might. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay. Today's topic is going to be a little weird. This one is going to be 8K Greg face stream. Oh God, yeah. So you can see all of the problems. Out of curiosity, do you know what other Final Fantasy games they've played? Okay. Question: do you think CG anime looks cool? I don't mind it, Real Chris. I've always been a 2D guy over any kind of 3D. That's just always been me. That's always been me for video games. Well, you know what? It's also been me for movies and stuff too. So yeah, I've always been more of a 2D guy over 3D guy. So I absolutely love hand-drawn animation. I don't mind CG elements. Initial D, for instance, was all hand-drawn animation, and then it was CG for the cars, for when they were doing the racing scenes and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. I like that. I know it's not anime, but Futurama, for instance, uses hand-drawn animation and then a 3D rotating for other, like for certain things, for like the ships and vehicles and stuff, but it looks like the animation. It looks the same coloring and everything, so I like that. I get a kick out of that. Oh, hey, Switchback. Welcome. I'm glad you could stop by. Kirby had a mix of both, yeah. Best or top 3 movie theater snack. Well, hold on. There is a topic that I wanted to get to, but 3D anime I like. Gregory's House of Horrors. Yeah, it was something like that. So okay, I wanted to talk about something. This might end up being a little weird. Not weird. It's just I think it kind of goes a little bit deeper than people think it does. And so I wanted to get into it. It was I remember Gregory Horror Show being something else. All right, so everybody knows about the term weeaboo. Everybody knows that it's often mentioned as a derogatory term. I don't ever actually remember it being thought of as a positive term. I think otaku is I think otaku has become a positive word, even though I think technically that is supposed to be a derogatory term also. I don't think the term weeaboo is actually Japanese at all.
You love me.
Oh, hey, Electric Maestro. Oh, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I see damn weebs, I swear. All right, so the first thing I want to do is talk about what I imagine when I say weeaboo, because if somebody asks you what is a weeaboo, like why is it a derogatory term? Otaku has different connotations. Yeah, I think here we've sort of it's sort of like when you call somebody a geek or a nerd, and it used to be an insult, but we kind of taken it under our own, and so now it's an okay thing. But even among us, weeaboo is still considered derogatory. The way I see weeaboo, this is how I define the term when I have to explain it to somebody else. A weeaboo to me is somebody who emulates Japanese culture on a very minimal scale, based solely on watching anime. It's like imagining that American culture is only what you see in the movies, which we joke that it is, but it really isn't. It's the guy who, when you walk into his house, or when you walk into his family's house, and you go to his bedroom, he wants you to take his shoes. He wants you to take your shoes off.
You know me.
Hey Enoch, thank you for the follow. He wants you to take his shoes off. To take your shoes off. He's got tatami mats down. He eats his pizza or his spaghetti like anybody else, but he does the clap and itadekimasu is like the thing that you say before you eat. I think that's it. It's somebody who, in most cases, someone overly obsessed with Japanese culture based on the media, without actually looking into Japanese culture or anything like that. It's just based on the media that he absorbed, that he or she absorbed, the manga and the anime, where it affects their worldview. It would be like someone thinking everything is Simpsons or Family Guy. Yeah, like trying to emulate that in the sense, and then using that to think, oh, well, this is, I'm being American when I watch this, when I emulate this. That's what I that's how I take weeaboo, which is why I think it's derogatory, because it's sort of a partial view, and you think you know everything about the culture because of this one aspect of one part of the culture that you've seen. So that's where I get that from. The Weeb Simpsons Twitter account. Now here's my question. This is the thought that I was having, and this is the question that I want to pose to you guys. At what point do you stop being a weeaboo and you start being genuinely interested in the culture? And at what point, when you, more importantly, when you see someone else, at what point do you stop seeing them as, oh, well, this guy's a weeb who's just watching anime, and you start thinking, wow, they are genuinely interested in the culture? Just like my Japanese mangoes. You know, we joke about that. We joke about, oh, well, he knows a few Japanese words and you have to take your shoes off when you go into his bedroom. We make jokes about that. But what happens when someone who identifies that way, someone who acts that way, is now taking cultural studies? You know, the anime and the manga was sort of an introduction to that society, to that culture. But then they actually start learning the language. They actually start taking a more serious cultural look at that world. You know, when they start taking different studies about Japanese culture and stuff, like, you know what I mean, college courses or whatever, when they are going to Japan and not even interacting with any anime at all, when they're going to Japan because they are interested in it. Weeaboos show it off, non-weeaboos don't. How you apply your knowledge and interest. The person in culture genuinely isn't going to shove it into their daily life for no reason. Okay. When you're doing it genuinely. See, but that's the thing. No, okay. Here's the thing. So that's a couple of times that I've seen the word genuinely. But weeaboos genuinely love anime. They do genuinely love that stuff. So the question is, what is the line? You know, I know that there's not going to be a clear line, but if you saw somebody walking around and he likes anime, so he bought a box of Pocky. He went to the supermarket. He said, "Oh, I've seen that in anime," and they because this is actually true of me. I seen an anime and I heard that it was cool, and it was I asked somebody about it one time and they said, "Oh, it's like a biscuit with chocolate on it." I like cookies. Well, like a cookie with chocolate on it. I like cookies and I like chocolate. This is interesting. I've seen it in anime. I'll give it a try. I genuinely like it now. You know what I mean? It's not like I go and watch anime and then I gotta eat my Pocky bar. I'll genuinely be in the supermarket and sometimes I want a candy bar. Sometimes I want an apple or an orange or something. Sometimes I want Pocky. So where does it be? You know what I mean? Where is the line where you see me with Pocky and you say, "Oh, he's a weeaboo because he eats that stuff," and on the other side of that line is, "Oh, he has tried it before. He got into it because of anime. He genuinely likes it now." I'm very interested in the food. Yes, Lady Foxheart, I am very, very interested in the food. Let them be once they get their passport. Yeah, okay, CT. You said, I mean, if they want to become a Japanese citizen, let them once they get their passport. If somebody said, I love Japanese culture or I got into Japanese culture because of anime and now I want to go to Japan, are they still weebing out? Or are they now transitioning into being genuinely interested in the culture? And that's why I don't expect there to be an answer for any of this. I wanted to pose that question to you guys because I find it very interesting. Visiting Japan is one thing. Gaining a visa to live and work there is a whole other kettle of fish, which some people do experiment. There's plenty of English teachers over there, and that's what they do. They teach high-level English because they don't know much Japanese, so their job is to teach the students who have grown beyond the rudimentary English, and now they need somebody who is immersed in that language. Excuse me, for the little I don't know what the word would be. I'm not an English person. You know what I mean, though. But, you know, for somebody who really, really knows it, they know it on the conversational level. They know all the idiosyncrasies of the language and stuff like that. That's trying something new and a tangent and stuff. Same as, say, trying skateboard because you like Tony Hawk. That's different entirely. See, and that's the thing. I don't know that it's different entirely. Because it's the same thing. If you saw a kid on a skateboard and said, I want to try a skateboard because I play Tony Hawk, you would think, oh, look at this nerd. But then 2 years later, he's an actual hardcore skateboarder You know what I mean? At what point did he transition into that? You know, did he start learning from someone very specifically? You know, it's just, I find it just a very interesting. Strawberry Pocky's kind of gross. When will we start getting some of the Kit Kats that they maybe get? Ace Trainer, I just want the green tea Kit Kat. The difference is how you apply it, as always. Yeah. We tend to push it out hard over obsession. Yeah. Oh, to different detriment to others. Yeah. To a detriment to others' enjoyment of the yeah. See, you know what? I get a lot of that from video games. I know I've talked about video games where I can't play them because all I hear in my mind is somebody at some point in time who was trying to drill it into my head that I'm supposed to play this game. Oh, thank you for the bit, CT. I think the issue is you're a bit misunderstood on the general definition attitude. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to specify at the beginning what my idea of the term is. Because if you can't really say that Weeaboo is just, oh, he like this guy like anime. That's otaku. You know, the Weeaboo is the guy who is it just the person who my interpretation of it was always just the person who takes little bits and pieces of it and doesn't take it any, you know what I mean? That's it. There you go. They that's all you do with it. You know what I mean? So would you guys agree? Okay, let me try this. Would you guys agree that a Weeaboo is more somebody who is trying to push that culture onto everybody else? Who? Oh, thank you for welcoming to the host. That is very appropriate, by the way. I have a feeling you guys are hitting host on purpose to bring up my anime host club gift there. But yeah, would you agree that a Weeaboo is somebody who is not just a fan of that culture, but is now trying to emulate that outwards, almost like at everybody else? So when you start shaking your own culture and other previous interests, and Japanese culture becomes your whole identity. Okay, Elements, that's interesting. You consider yourself Japanese. Okay, yeah, I think considering yourself Japanese when you just feel like being Japanese, I think that might be a bit far. I don't think that's Weeaboo. I think you've got an actual problem. But yeah, if you're starting to shake your own culture, then is that Weeaboo or is that just obsessive? Hey, Aqua Sakura, I'm going down here as fast as I can. Streaming when I'm eating breakfast. Wasabi Kit Kats look like food, look like punishment food. Greg, where would you like to go in Nippon? CT, I would absolutely want to go to Kyoto. I would like to go to Osaka and catch the sumo wrestling. I find sumo wrestling very fascinating. And what is the Hokkaido? I like nature, I like hiking and stuff, so I think Hokkaido would be a cool place to go. And of course, you know, Akihabara, because I'm a geek and I have to say Akihabara. Let's see, isn't a general definition. Yeah, it isn't a general definition because people are going to have different views. So we're talking about Weeaboo. Oh, that's not the definition. Okay, Weeaboo is mostly a person who takes too much influence from popular Japanese media and puts it into practice to the annoyance of others. Yeah, so to the annoyance of others. That's why it's one thing to have tatami mats and you have to take your shoes off in your own bedroom, but when you start making it your entire household and you have people come over and you're attacking them, you're surprise attacking them with this culture, that's probably a little too far. Someone that forces it on others. Yeah. Someone who encompasses their entire life into the culture rather than just dabbling in the odd part of it. Don't force it on everyone else either. Yeah, that's my biggest, Lady Fox said, that's my biggest thing. I feel that way about anything. It's just not force it. Don't force everybody else to try and conform to this thing that you like, which is no different than, you know, hey, check this movie out. I'll check it out later. No, you gotta check this movie out. You know, that person that badgers you about it. I always thought Weeaboo, someone exaggerated view of Japanese culture. See, Aqua Sakura, that's a little bit closer to what I always thought, where not even just trying to outwardly force it on anybody, but exaggerated view of Japanese culture, which to me is a view of Japanese culture that comes from anime and manga. You know, that's what a weeaboo always was to me. It seems like the consensus here is that another trait for weeaboo seems to be pushing it out right onto other people. My friend is a weeaboo as he talks Japanese and makes several anime quotes and has a bunch of Japanese merch that he shows off all the time, tries to get me. Yeah, awesome. Awesome Surge. See, that's definitely weeby to me, and a little bit annoying. That's why. You don't have to be a weeb in order to annoy me with, you guys got to try this, man. You know what it is? It's the people who you cannot talk to them about a movie that was a book, because all they're going to tell you is that you should have read the book. It was better. Same thing. That's the same thing to me. That drives me crazy. Yeah, they push their ideas of what it is too hard. Yeah, and that's the thing that got me is that it's not even just the adaptation of the culture. And this is another topic that I wanted to lead into with this. But it's not just the idea of the adaptation of the culture. It is the source of the adaptation. You know, there's one thing to be a without trying to sound too insensitive, the milquetoast white guy from Idaho, and something about Japanese culture has interested you, so now you have started to really study Japanese culture. You know, really study it. There's a fundamental difference between that guy and the guy that says, I'm going to act like I think I'm Japanese because I watch a lot of anime. You know what I mean? Like, it's this sort of weird setup. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me get back to... Can't say Nani anymore, right? Spider, that's a good example of it. The people who... If you insist on calling somebody a baka instead of an idiot, like, just say idiot. You need to check out the Studio Ghibli amusement park. See, I probably would. I know that I would want to, but I probably would. You're already dead, awesome Surge. I always took Weeaboo to the obsessive fan route, and that's the thing. Elements, what constitutes the obsessive fan, because I think I broke 1,100 video games. Would I be considered an obsessive fan? I have some video game clothes. I have, posters and pictures and stuff, but I don't force this onto anybody. I love to share it with people, so is it just an obsessive fan, or is it an obsessive fan that has it so ingrained into their culture that I think somebody else said it earlier. They actually said it very well. Their worldview is skewed because of it. Where's my Neko? He is downstairs. I have a story to tell you about Sage. To be fair, a lot of cultures do that regardless. The Japanese way to look American is to wear blue jeans, comb your hair, and eat junk food like burr. Yeah, Ryan, that is damned American. Cowboys. As far as that is concerned, I was amazed at the idea that, because you always see these cultures as an American, we see these cultures and we see, kimonos and yukatas and stuff. Well, the small narrow version is to see kimonos and not actually that there's a difference. But to see that stuff and say, oh, that's Japanese, and to see this other culture and say, oh, that's African, and then you think, oh, well, our culture doesn't have anything. I was amazed when somebody told me, no, the cowboy stereotype, the hat and the boots and all of that stuff, that is Americans' native culture in a sense. That is the culture that spawned at the birth of our country. Shortly after the birth of our country. And then as far as the world knows, that is the culture. If they want to emulate the what they consider traditional, that's what they emulate. I was amazed. Sage is always okay. Yeah, Sage is all right now. He's fine. It's true, but there's also a line between things like video games, which are entertainment, and Japanese culture, which is entire people's culture. But that's the thing, Elements. These are the people who take Japanese media, anime and manga, and assume it as Japanese culture. That's where I go for Weeaboo. They assume it as the culture. Someone from another country watches an old episode of Jersey Shore. It's Switchback. It's Switchback. The King of the Hill, it's fine, but if anybody's watching Jersey Shore and thinking that is the way to emulate America, oh my God. Spread this video and tell them that is not American culture. Please. I always thought a kimono was just a fancy dressing gown. But aren't cowboy? Well, it's the Ace Trainer. That's how we know it. Let's be real here. According to the rest of the world, when it comes to America, there is New York, there is Texas, the Cowboy South, and California. And I don't think the rest of the world even knows that the Midwest exists. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing that we do. It's the same thing that a lot of other people do. There are a couple of cultures that you take, and they are supposed to represent the whole country, because every country has every different kind of person. But when you think about certain cultures, when you think about certain countries, there are a few things that rise to the top, and then that's it. Surprising despot popular knowledge. The cowboy hats did not come to preference until after the time. Yeah, I've heard that, Aqua. I've heard that when we think cowboys were wearing cowboy hats was actually not when they were wearing cowboy hats. There's an anime last year that had an accurate description of Donald Trump. Thorn, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember it, but I remember seeing an anime Trump and thinking, damn, that's wildly accurate. Japanese culture can be used for entertainment. Yeah, absolutely, Mendez. Yeah, I guess there's a gray line between those two things, and it's Japanese culture can be used for entertainment. Just like American culture, just like any other culture, you can use it. But the important thing to understand when you use a culture for entertainment is that often they will alter that image of the culture to suit the entertainment. You know what I mean? They will. Everybody has seen the cliche of you go to the shrine and you clap twice and you bow your head, but not everywhere does that in Japan. Some people don't do that. So they will always do that. They'll always try and adjust it, which is fine. That's storytelling. That's how storytelling works. And it's never. They're not documentaries of the world around you. God, I hope they're not documentaries of the world around you. Otherwise, Japan has a serious robot and tentacle problem. But it's. I just found it interesting. The anime and manga is not Japanese culture. Yeah. Anime and manga is anime and manga culture. Japanese is sushi. Manga is there. Yeah, honey, you're absolutely right, and that is 100% the truth. The issue is the weeaboos are the ones who don't seem to see that line. This is an extreme version of it, but it's the people who think that wrestling is real. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I'm ruining the secret of Santa and the Easter Bunny for you here, but the wrestling isn't real. It's scripted television. It's entertaining television, but it's scripted television. When you see somebody who reacts as if it is real, you start to think, holy crap. Weeaboo's kind of the same way. They may see it as entertainment, but they're absorbing it as fact. Tokyo is my favorite country. Japan is Tokyo and nothing else. Florida and Louisiana are another thing, and the Midwest are all bundled together. Yeah, what do they call them? The flyover states, which I think is probably the meanest thing you can say to somebody. Hold on. Never watched Jersey Shore, and I'm from Jersey. Mendez, you missed the documentary about your own people. It was quite fascinating from what I understand, because I think I maybe watched 4 seconds of it because I was flipping through channels and I didn't realize what was on. Oh, where did you get that emote? We're more caught up on what does Midwest mean. Oh, okay. Let's see. Can someone please use that Donkey Kong emote? Cowboys mainly wore bowler hats. Woo! On the other hand, there are groups in Japan that have a similar level of obsession with Western world. They're absolutely European, especially France in particular. It was even medically classed as a disorder known as Paris syndrome. It's better than Stockholm syndrome then, due to the sheer cultural shock between reality and their heightened expectations. Yeah, that's actually really. I'm gonna have to look that up. The Paris syndrome. There are similar variants of this. Yeah. They thought we had so much freedom. Yeah, it's not that free. Not everyone is Shakira Miyamoto. I love it. But it's not a documentary, it's entertainment. I'd like to see anime that represents American culture without purposely stereotyping, but just treat it the way. Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you mean, Aqua Sakura. Unfortunately for that, you are going to need American-made anime, which I don't think technically exists. Inuyashiki. Oh, it's the anime with Trump. Okay. Well, you kind of got sort of that with Cowboy. Yeah, Elements. Cowboy Bebop is exactly what American culture is like. When you trigger a Weeaboo, you say Avatar is legit anime. Say it's a wrestlers. I'm so like spoilers. I'm trying to catch up here. Wrestling's fake. Even the 25-foot drop. No. Some call me Johnny. Hello there, by the way. No, the athleticism is real. I'm talking about the people who get wrapped up in the drama storylines as if they're real. The athleticism is very real. I think that's what makes wrestling so interesting, is that the athleticism is real. To be fair, a lot of those stages are just worth flying over. Oh, thank you, Homecoming, for the bits. I know I got bits earlier and I didn't grab them. So I thank you to whoever got American-made anime. You mean Jaden Smith? Hey, Ryan, you don't deserve that big Toblerone. Greg's chat is going too fast. Yeah, it's. I don't want to put it in slow mode or anything because I'm not that popular, but it's still nice. Corey in the House is legit anime. There, I said it. But New York does not represent all of the U.S. No, see, Aqua, New York does not represent all of the U.S. But when you talk to other people from other countries who have never been here, there are a few cultures that they will think of. And one of them is New York culture, New York City. That's sort of the point. That's sort of the idea behind, when you talk to somebody who is not very familiar with Japanese culture, they're probably going to bring up kimonos. They're going to bring up sushi. They're going to bring up Tokyo. And all they're going to say is Tokyo. They're not going to be able to tell you anything about Tokyo. They're just going to say Tokyo. And if you're like me, you're going to talk about the mass transit. Don't tell me that Eddie Guerrero fighting Rey Mysterio for custody of that one kid was fake. Yes, I'm sorry. That was a fake custody hearing. Geishas will come up in a Japanese discussion, and that's the stuff on the surface. But anybody who has looked into Japan knows that it's a lot deeper and richer than that. And that's my point. When you ask somebody on the surface, what do they see? When you ask somebody from another country, I'm willing to bet you that they're going to say things like New York City and cowboys and hamburgers and obesity. Because that seems to be what the world knows about us. Oh, and now Donald Trump for some reason. So it's literally just getting worse. Texas, California, and New York. See? That's exactly what I said earlier. Those are the three places that exist. Classic seppuku. Japan is all about pachinko. And if you're in a Konami bar, sexy pachinko. I do feel for Japanese who get annoyed by people who only have a shallow knowledge. You know what? Aqua Sakura, appropriate name, by the way. I've seen interviews with people and they've said that it bothers them. And again, I've seen interviews on YouTube, but I watch a lot of them. a lot of the time they will say that it bothers them, but they appreciate the interest and they always want people to learn more. Like I think that that's one of those places that was stayed relatively isolated in a way. So now the outside, the fact that people from outside are very interested is interesting to them. That's the impression I always got. We all know that fucked in America. Yes, we are. Unfortunately, I don't want to act like I'm proud of that, but I guess you got to be who you are. People know my state because Cali. Yeah. Japanese Navy march music intensifies. All these stereotypes remind me of Punch Out. Homecoming. Mike Tyson's Punch Out is probably the worst collection of offensive stereotypes to ever occur in a video game. It's not even just a couple of stereotypes. Like, it's just a bunch of them. This is how I took Weeaboo today. Teenagers who are obsessed with Japanese culture and don't know any better. Not to say liking Japanese culture is childish. More the older people are a lot more nuanced with their love and appreciation of the culture. Depends on the region. Tokyoites are more okay with it and eager to share. Yeah, Ryan, you're right. I think that the people in smaller places, Okinawa and Hokkaido, places where they're more peaceful in a way, I would imagine that they would be the first ones to say, I don't like this outside influence, which is no different than America. If you've ever been through a small area where, it's a little remote, it's nice and it's quiet, it's probably near the woods. If you told them, hey, they're going to build a housing development and more people are going to be around, they'd be the first ones to tell you that they are not okay with that. I know one thing, the U.S. has an issue with its maintaining important infrastructure. Well, yeah, experiment. That's probably a whole nother show that has nothing to do with anime. Something similar, which the people of Japan do like to others taking interest in their culture. Japan was isolated at one point. Yeah, and about 60 years ago, it was extremely isolated from America for specific reasons. Oh, no problem, Switchback. Have a good one. Be sure to stop back in and check the VOD. See how the rest of the conversation goes. Rey Mysterio is more a luchador or a wrestler. I'd say wrestler at this point. Well, yeah. Remember when people went to visit Obama Japan because of the less bigger cities? Yeah, places like Tokyo are more, quite metropolitan. Yeah, they're always more likely to be accepting. I think that the very nature, and this is speculation, it's pure speculation. I think that the very nature of living in the mindset that comes from living in a big city with a lot of things is that you think more is better. So I think that I would imagine that in any major city, if you said that the city was growing, they would like that idea. Even if it's wrong or their logic is flawed, I think that that's the sort of thing that is bred from living in a major city. I never lived in the heart of the city. I grew up in Philadelphia, so I never lived in the heart of Philadelphia. So that never interested me. Like living in the city, whenever I'd go to Center City, I couldn't wait to leave. Rainbow Miku. I learned from a marketing class that most teens from other countries emulate American fat. Yeah, well, Ace Trainer, that's sort of what America was always supposed to be, in a sense. Well, not supposed to be, but a lot of people see America as this thing that you want to try and emulate. I think that if I had to wager a guess, and this is way off topic, and this is wild speculation. If I had to venture a guess as to why teens especially want to emulate American culture, it would be that Americans, for better or for worse, do things with so much confidence and bravado that it is almost enticing. We've all known that guy. I'm gonna take a guess here and say that a lot of us are introverted. But we've all seen that extroverted guy, especially in places like high school and stuff, that he was everybody liked him, and they're extremely charismatic. They're extremely charismatic. And even if we know we're not like that, and even if we know that we would not want to be like that, there is a charm to it. And I think that that's one thing that you'll see a lot of countries where they talk about their culture and they're called. I know Japanese are in Japan. It's very much like that, where they'd rather not try than try and fail. You know what I mean? They would rather not have that failure on them. Whereas Americans are not like that. They're very much, you have to try. Trying is the important thing. And if you fail, that's a lesson learned for the future. And I think a lot of people like that. I think that the idea of that kind of confidence is attractive to people. So I think that attracts people. The problem is that when they get here, it's probably exactly like where they live, only ruder. The mystique of that is gone. Back in high school, no matter what country someone came from, they were all about hip hop culture. I'm more introverted, but you would love to be more extroverted. Yeah, because there's a charm to it. There's the idea of the charismatic charmer is amazing to people. You know, the guy that can just talk to anybody, and he's the life of the party and stuff, and he's happy to be the life of the party. I would never want to be that, but I do look at that guy in not an envious way, but a way of, I am impressed. Even if that doesn't interest me to be that, I am impressed by that. And INFP. Oh yeah, I am INTP, which I don't think that test really does do anything. But if I remember, I took that test. It's the Myers-Briggs type indicator test. I took the test at one time, and then I read the description, and I was amazed. It was like reading myself on paper. So anybody who tells you that it's 100% BS is not 100% BS. Then you get called a tryhard. We want assurance, and if someone showcases that they are and confident, yeah, it's a draw in some shape or form. Hey, Gataloid. I think all children are extroverted until they realize there's a show. Gataloid, that's very, very interesting. You're right, because we all remember when we went out and we played with kids. Now, there is a limit, because I remember when I was a kid, there was a point when I was still a kid where I didn't want to hang out with the other kids, but I knew that the other kids were into some bad stuff, and I didn't really feel like dealing with any of that. And then I realized at a very early age, the younger you are when you start getting bullied, the more you don't want to be part of that group. But yeah, you're right. It's always real easy to go somewhere and make friends as a kid. I remember whenever I'd go to like the park or the swimming pool or something, it was easy to make. You always left having made a new friend. Nowadays, oh my God, don't talk to me. Well, you guys can talk to me if we meet, but you know. And that's, you know what? And that's funny, because when I go to conventions and stuff, that's when my inner child comes back out. You know, that's where I want to talk to people, and I hear people. I want people to comment on my conversation, and I want to comment on other people's conversation. It does take me back to a younger version of myself, and I do like it. Let's see here. We want to share. That always moving forward and learning from mistakes is a healthy mentality. Yeah, it's Black Hat, which is why it's attractive to people. Being half British and half Canadian, I'm used to stereotypes, but I can laugh. Oh my God. Thank you, Gumshoe. Thank you, Gumshoe Gamer. Okay, so half British and half Canadian. So let me guess. You put maple syrup in your tea. I'm guessing that's the one. Yeah, and you know what? Glass half full or half empty. And you said, but I can laugh. Not everyone will, though. I can laugh. I don't mind the stereotypes. You know, I am a Puerto Rican who grew up in Philadelphia, who does not speak Spanish, who watches anime and could probably tell you more Japanese words than Spanish words. And I don't use much slang which I have been, I've had more than a few people tell me that I am acting white because of the way I speak, because I don't say like did or whatever other weird wrong words people use. So if anybody knows what it's like to be joked about, it's going to be me. I am definitely one of those. Sonic Echo. I think my one has a J in it. Okay. The Myers-Briggs. Yeah, Myers-Briggs type indicator is the test. If you ever get a chance, I recommend you take that test. It's a fascinating test. It's about 100 questions or so, and it's a fascinating test. Just be honest with it, and it's a free test. It's everywhere on the internet. And don't take it as this is who you are, but it's an interesting idea. It's an interesting, a little bit of a tiny little window into part of who you are, is the way I like to see it. You don't want to talk to me, Greg? Oh, not that I want to Baka. I had no idea you stream. Oh, yes, I do, Gumshoe Gamer. I stream 4 days a week. A lot of people were jerks and pretty much my tormentors in high school and middle school. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. You say that this for no reason. It's for a reason. It's because knocking other people down brings certain people up. It's a crap reason, but that's how they justify it. What's the best way to introduce yourself to you if I meet you at a convention? I don't want to be that weird person or make a bad CT. You know what you do? Here's what you do. You walk up to me and I've had people say, "Hey, are you Greg? Are you Johnny's uncle?" I get a lot of, "Are you Johnny's uncle?" You stick your hand out and you say, "Hey, it's nice to meet you." And there you go. That's really it. You don't have to do anything weird. I don't need a lot of super interesting questions. Like, there's always somebody that wants to have a real interesting question to ask, which I kind of am. I am kind of that person. But all you have to do is say hello. It's no different than anything else to me. That's all it takes for me. No hugging. No, I feel weird about the hugging unless we have a deep conversation. We'll save the hugging for later. Natural selection in the 2000s. At least I got my true friends. Yes, I do. I too have true friends. Awesome Surge. They're in this room with me right now. The joy of Discord servers. Woo! Love Discord servers. One day I'll actually talk into them. Last Broly movie tonight. INTP is commonly classed as the logician. There we go. INTJ is the mastermind scientist. Yeah, I flip-flop between INTJ and INTP. Depending on how I feel. I take the test every couple of years, and it always flip-flops between those two. I don't like tea. I'm much more of a coffee guy. See, Thorn. We're breaking stereotypes here. MBTI is good, and that it helps you get a better idea who you are. Yeah, I think I think it does have some truth from observing. By the way, it's interesting you have thinker. Oh yeah. I always do have. It's always INTP or INTJ, but it's normally INTP is what comes up. I'm terrible at languages. Got to get on that urban lingo. Yeah, I'm Mambo. I'm trying to get on that urban lingo. I'm trying to keep it fresh. God, that's horrible. Oh, Lady Foxheart, have a good day. Have a good day. Thank you for stopping in. Important question is, should you care? Oh God, no, honey. You know what, honey? You should care how people are going to treat you, but don't care what they think of you. Growing up in a bad neighborhood where if somebody doesn't like you, they could get physically violent against you. I think there is some importance to caring what people are going to, how they're going to treat you. If you wear the leather jacket with the spikes and you've got your hair all spiked and colored and you've got piercings all over, you shouldn't care what anybody thinks. But when you go to a job interview that is not that kind of job and they don't hire you, don't be upset because the way you look, they're going to react a certain way. Well, you can be upset, but expect that you're probably not going to get the job because of it, because regardless of what they think, how they act towards you is going to have an effect. But that's a bigger topic because that to be honest, I just heard that and it sounded terrible. So that is a much bigger topic. So maybe that is a topic we'll get into one day. I'm Puerto Rican and I don't know how to dance. Yo, Nerd Chef, same way. I can't dance. I can dance when I've got a lot of alcohol in me, but I don't think that makes me better at dancing. I just think I care less about the fact that I can't. It's just for funsies. Similar coffee is popular here. I'm more of a tea person. Sakura, you got to switch. You got to flip flop. Oh, hey Lizard. Hey Lizard. How you doing? I double said that for some reason. In other news, YouTube on a vlog just basically admitted subscribing to people didn't matter or notifying them. Oh boy. Great crew. Hi. I'd like to run into Greg anywhere except the bathroom. Hey, awesome. Why not the bathroom? Hey, man. You know, we can shake together. Ooh, that was weird. No. So I shouldn't cosplay as a biker for job interviews. No, unless you're going for a job at a motorcycle shop. All right. Anybody going to PAX East? Okay. All right. Oh wait. Share a friendly conversation while peeing together. Yeah, this convention is it's weird, right? Why are we having a conversation at the bathroom? To me, tea is greater than coffee. Oh boy. I'm a coffee guy. I was never a huge tea guy. I like tea, but I was never truth be told, I was never the coffee guy that, I need all these different types of coffee and stuff. Like, if anything, you can give me the same exact kind of coffee and change up the creamer and give me different flavored creamers and I'm good. Don't lock eyes. Don't cross the streams. You know what, Elements? Don't lock eyes is good advice for going to the bathroom and for while you're eating a banana. Don't lock eyes with anybody while you're eating a banana. I'm bad. Water is great. What is that? Water is greater than soda, which is greater than something else. I can't stand tea or coffee. Third option. Chaotic neutral. Water. Yeah, you like the water before it becomes tea or coffee. Ooh, hot cocoa all the way. Well, the Elements, there's a picture. You can find it online where it's it's the coffee guy, and the coffee guy he's got his cup and my coffee is strong and it's the best, it's so flavorful, and the tea person is going, oh, the tea is so sophisticated and elegant, and the hot chocolate person is sitting there and they're all bundled up in a blanket and it just says, I like mine with sprinkles. Water is lawful good. See, I would think water is lawful neutral. Actually, I would think water is completely neutral. For me, an iced black coffee is goat beverage. You know what goat beverage is? Goat's milk. That was an easy one. I hope I don't run into Greg when he's in a Splatoon cosplay. I'm thinking about bringing out the Splatoon cosplay again, actually, this year. Just in honor of Splatoon 2. Apple is better than grape, which is better than orange. Change my mind. Is goat? Greatest of all time is goat. Dressed as Splatoon Squid with my ASMR voice. All right. Okay, it's 4:00 now. Give me a few minutes, and we're gonna come back. And when we come back, we will have viewer topics. So whatever you guys want to bring up. Do an Octoling cosplay. I like that. But yeah, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you've got questions, if you want to ask them, that's fine. And then we'll see where we go from there. I think I had something else that I wanted to talk about too. So we'll see what happens, and we'll take it from there. So yeah, about a minute or two. If it's probably going to be just 1 or 2 minutes. But I will see you guys. See you on the other side.